superconductor recently developed by a group that accidentally we have a lot of new superconductor, but there is no relationship between each other, so that my talk is a little bit scattered. When you enter the sushi bar in Japan, so there may be three categories matsu take, depending on its prices. You know that the matsu is very, very expensive and ume is very, very cheap. Similarly, the superconductivity can be categorized into three groups, depending on its TC, matsu take. And this is three groups of superconductivity, and the highest group is the matsu. If you can find a matsu group superconductor, you can get a Nobel Prize. And take is only the copper oxide system can be found in the take group. And another group, including iron arsenide and magnesium diboride and so on, many other new superconductor unfortunately belongs to the my groups in my category. So the next target is to find the take group superconductor. Okay, this is my next target. So the how to find the higher new superconductor is maybe we have a lot of approaches to higher TC superconductor. For example, I'm asking to the theoretician maybe that probably 90% of theoreticians said that copper oxide is the best candidate to get a higher TC. Copper oxide is very, very delicately constructed, so maybe the copper oxide is got by the God hand. So one of the approaches to get high TC is the carrier coupled plane. This approach is now tried by the Asaka sensei and Uchida sensei and their groups. And next idea is the copper oxide having a react structure is just a modification of the coupled plane. For example, ladders and leaf model and so on. Unfortunately, I have not enough time to talk about this story. So today, I would like to talk on the superconductivity derived from covalent bonding network. Metal superconductor, including light element or carrier dot cluster and nanotubes and so on. This is a theme of the superconductor derived from covalent bonding network. For example, that we just start from the C60 cluster and B12 icosahedron and silicon 20 trisohedron and B6 octahedron. For example, it will be 6. And recently, benzene, for example, Xen superconductor has been found. And most famous one is, of course, the iron arsenide and diamond and magnesium diboride and so on. This can be categorized into the superconductivity derived from the covalent bonding network. So today I'd like to talk on the superconductivity derived from covalent bonding network recently developed by our group. The first one is magnesium diboride and Y2C3 and calcium aluminosilicon and sodium aluminosilicon and carrier dot superconductor in wide gap semiconductor and cross plate and not a heavy superconductor is for existence also conductivity and magnetism, and we find recently yttrium T3. Let me first magnitude diboride briefly. Long ago that I found new superconductor in magnitude diboride. This is about 40 Kelvin. This is a main charge density magnitude diboride. This is not a cartoon, just this is a Fourier transform main charge density map in magnitude diboride. If we look at these boron, that we can immediately understand that boron covariant nature of the boron and ionic nature of the magnesium. So this covariant nature is superconducting carrier is flowing so-called in the sigma bond, and also that pi bond is between magnesium and boron. This is one of the examples of the two-gap superconductor. This is hot emission data done by Soma et al. This is a sigma bond superconductor, and this is a pi band superconductor. So we clearly understand that superconducting gap includes two gaps. One of the important applications of magnesium diboride is so-called MRI or linear express. This is one of the examples of the application of the magnesium diboride. Recently, ACT Corpus Parapet developed non-cooling liquid type magnesium diboride MRI magnet. This is an open type MRI system already commercialized by the Italian group, and this is the data taken by this MRI apparatus. So they're already commercialized. Another interesting application is thin film. Recently, this is a very, very beautiful SEM images of the magnesium diboride thin film. The substrate is a sapphire substrate, and this is very, very sharp. This has been taken by the Professor Ishida's group of Osaka Prefecture University. Another example of the nanofabrication of the magnesium diboride. This direction is developed toward neutron detector. Boron is a heavy absorber of the neutron, so that it can be used as a neutron detector. This has been also developed by the Professor Ishida's group. So I just briefly summarize the magnesium diboride. First one is superconductivity can be basically explained by the BCS theory, and the strong electron-hole interaction due to the lattice vibration in a boron plane strongly connected with the band. And Tajima sensei said that this material has a typical textbook material for two-gap superconductors. So let me start the superconductivity in Y2C3 and 1.T3. This has been developed by all my students, Gakuin and Nokoyaki. This is a susceptibility and resistivity data of the Y2C3, and we successfully synthesized high quality Y2C3 samples under high pressure. TC is controllable by the synthesis condition scattered from 18, almost 18 Kelvin to the more than 10 Kelvin. This is a crystal structure. This is a network analysis of Y2C3, and the structure is so-called plutonium to C3 type, and Y atoms align along the 111 direction, and C atom forms diamond. After our discovery, I noticed that already Krupkas et al. Has already found this material. However, their TC is very, very low, from 5 Kelvin to 10 Kelvin. However, our TC is more than 50 Kelvin. What is the difference between these guys and these guys? So the important point is the Lux parameter is our high TC phase is Lux parameter is shorter than the low TC phase. This is a defined structure parameter from looking at 111 direction. And the point is that carbon-carbon distance is high TC material is shorter than the low TC material, comparing to these values that this is more shorter and shorter. And another point is macroscopic parameter that gamma just proportional to the density of state, that with increasing the density of state, the TC is increased. It is very, very natural. However, that TC versus 2 delta over KBTC is increasing with increasing the TC. And the relationship between gamma and TC and almost magnitude diboride and Y2C3 located here around in this region. After our discovery, I sent these samples to the Kitaoka sensei's laboratory, and Harada-san get a nice data. So the night shift is decreased below TC. Just this material has a spin, so-called spin singlet. However, Kitaoka group claims that this shift will have two gaps. We have two gaps superconductor, so that Kitaoka sensei group claims that two isotopic gaps exist in Y2C3. Large gap is here and small gap is here. Stimulating these conclusions, next step that we try to get the verification of the two-gap state by using the VSR experiment. VSR result on ground trunk 2C3 and Y2C3 here. Looking at these Y2C3 data, that we have almost one line, but carefully after carefully analyzed, that we conclude that this has also two gaps. And on the other hand, ground trunk C3, we have a very, very funny shape. That this is one gap and another gap is here. So this behavior clearly shows that two gap. This guy is a two gap is closely connected, but in this material, lantern C3 that almost independent, so that we can conclude that TC is finally TC is one, but from the gap state that we can get almost seems to be almost two gaps is existing. So the superconducting parameter is summarized here, and we would like to say that delta 1, lantern C3 is delta 1 is here, and 2 delta over cavity C here, and yttrium 2 C3 is here. Next is superconductivity in calcium, aluminum, silicon, and sodium, aluminum, silicon. This material has been developed by my old student, and this material, calcium, aluminum, silicon, has been found by Imai-san of NIMS. The idea is very simple. Calcium silicon 2 is a superconductor under high pressure. So the Imai-san tried to shrink the silicon layer, and so the substitute the 50% aluminum at the silicon side. Simultaneously, we get the same idea, and we succeed in getting the superconductor, but Imai-san's group is already submitted, so that I give up to continue to this material. However, next step is to grow a single crystal. So the Koreakun started to grow a single crystal. After growing a large single crystal, we noticed that TC is different for same calcium and silicon material. So why is the TC is different? So we understand that silicon aluminum layer is a silicon aluminum layer is every layer is a silicon aluminum layer, but starting is different. So we call it 1H class is every silicon aluminum is the same starting. However, 5H silicon class is that after 5 layers at 60-degree rotation here, and 6S class is 6-layer rotation is here. So the two types of multi-stack structure is existed: 60-degree rotation aluminum silicon arrangement. So the TC difference is due to such a delicate arrangement, crystal structure arrangement. So to examine more carefully that we made a X-ray scattering or neutron scattering, that we conclude that new phase 1H CAS or 5H CAS and 6S CAS, and we succeed 1H CAS. 1H CAS is every stack is same aluminum, silicon that regularly ordered. What is the difference between the 1H or 5H and 6H? Surprisingly, 6H CAS has a so-called strong coupling. However, 1H CAS is weak coupling. 2 delta over cavity C is a little bit smaller comparing to these guys. And more, we examine the so-called upper critical field. Upper critical field has a large difference between the 6H or 5H CAS and 1H CAS. And 6H and 5H CAS has a strong anisotropy. If we apply the H parallel A and H parallel C, that upper critical field that strong anisotropy. However, surprisingly, 1H CAS has almost reached the same value, so-called isotrope. And also, strontium aluminum silicon has a strong anisotropy. I don't know why that such big differences existed. Another method result is edge dependence of the penetration depth. And we use the modified London model that lambda A over lambda C, or lambda A over lambda C is 1.80. However, in this case at 1.61. However, in this 1H that lambda A over lambda C is almost 1 unity. Big difference. And after that, we went to the spring rate and collaborated with Baron-san, and we can get a very, very beautiful X-ray scattering dispersion curve. And by developing this idea, we try to get sodium aluminum silicon instead of the calcium aluminum silicon. But however, sodium aluminum silicon has a very, very different crystal structure. After that, we noticed that this aluminum silicon layer is very, very similar to the so-called iron 111 system. And TC is about 7, and it has a type 2 superconductivity with TC 7 Kelvin. And after that, recently the Pickett group has published the data of the band structure, and the density of state in sodium and silicon is here, and yeah, TC is reasonable. And DOS at EF is mainly caused from the aluminum silicon layer. Next topic is superconductivity is a so-called wide gap semiconductor. And in one of the main themes in this conference is ferromagnetic semiconductor that we focus on the superconductivity in the wide gap semiconductor. This is a collaborator, these guys, and Minor-san, Cleaner, and Minor-san, and Aist Shirakawa-san. This story has just started. Superconductivity in boron-doped diode, developed by Aoyama, and its TC is about 4 Kelvin. After that, subsequent report has been reported by Takano's group by the CVD single crystal film, and it is a long story. However, conclusion is that TC on the 111 substrate is that TC is almost more than 10 Kelvin. However, 100 crystal film is less than 4 Kelvin. And that 111 TC is still increasing, that probably we can get a more higher TC by the boron doping, and Yang Sensei predicted that boron is aligned regularly. It can get a room temperature superconductor. At that moment, we have no idea how to align the regularly. So, stimulated by this idea, we developed the superconductivity boron doped silicon carbide. This has been developed by the Ren-san in my laboratory, and this is a type 1 superconductor from this measurement. And we have a lot of crystal structure in silicon carbide. For example, 3C silicon carbide. This is a 3C silicon carbide. The 6H silicon carbide is here. This is a hexagonal, and this is a trigonal. And so how to distinguish this guy and this guy? This this is this crystal structure is separated by the temperature, and this side under high temperature we can get the 6S silicon carbide, boron doped silicon carbide, and 3C boron doped silicon carbide is here. And TC is delicately different. Different of TC is probably caused from the difference of crystal structure. This is an H-phase diagram type 1 boron doped silicon carbide. This is a specific measurement in boron doped silicon carbide. So the specific heat jump is observed at TC. Both reveal a similar TC and field strength. And this shows the bulk nature of these superconductors. This is a summary of the boron doped silicon carbide parameter, normal state, and the superconducting parameter here. Next step is superconductivity in aluminum doped silicon carbide. This is a data of the aluminum doped silicon carbide here. And this is a resistivity and this is a susceptibility. And we estimate the carrier density is from 4 to 7, 10, 20 per centimeter. This is a T-scan and active-phase diagram in 3C aluminum doped silicon carbide. So we observed the type 1 superconducting state in 6H, 3C boron doped silicon carbide, and type 2 superconducting state in the 3C aluminum doped silicon carbide. And surprisingly, or unfortunately, transition temperature is almost same. Next step is superconductivity in aluminum nitride. You know that aluminum nitride is a famous transparent semiconductor. However, by changing the aluminum ratio of the aluminum nitrogen, that we can get superconductivity. TC is 2.8 Kelvin in Chi, and onset temperature of 3.2 Kelvin in rho. So almost people have a strong doubt that this superconductivity is due to the aluminum, but aluminum is usual superconducting transition temperature is about lower than 1 Kelvin, so it is pretty sure that this is a new superconductor in aluminum nitride. This is a T-scan of resistivity and active-phase diagram in aluminum nitride. And to carefully conclude that this is not aluminum material, so we compare the stoichiometric aluminum nitride and our superconducting aluminum nitride. It is very, very delicate conclusion. However, that is constant is clearly different from A-axis and C-axis. So the carrier is doped by, we cannot say anymore extra aluminum or extra nitride. So the aluminum nitride 1 plus delta or aluminum 1 plus beta nitride. Now we are now examining. So we would like to know the bulk nature of the superconductivity in aluminum nitride. We made a measurement of the heat capacity in the aluminum nitride, and it's not a sharp peak. However, we clearly observed the specific heat jump at this temperature. Next, our theorem is silver or copper crustless system. This has been done by student This is an old, very, very old material done by the Bell Laboratory Group, Robin et al., 1966. After that, nobody noticed that material, but recently we try to examine these material. This is very, very interesting. And Ag oxide is just similar to the copper oxide, and just holding and made crustal. And inside, for example, NO3 and BF4 is within this cluster. This is a powder X-ray diffraction pattern of Ag608 AGX material. This is a single crystal sample is here. This is a normal state resistivity and susceptibility data. We can clearly observe the two transitions here and here. And at this transition, this is a cubic to tetrahedral distortion here. And inside the NO3 is rotating two-dimensionally, and it becomes tetrahedral. And however, lowest temperature probably not yet concluded. Probably this rattling is stopped. So that this is a two-dimensional rotation, and at this temperature, rattling is stopped. This is a superconducting data of this material, and we can get the Hc2 and resistivity and heat capacity measurement. So the next step is crystal structure of the copper 608 MX. So this is of course cubic. This has been worked extensively by the Dr. Ihara, and they can find superconductivity in this material. This is very, very interesting. And copper oxide plane is just holding, and inside some rattling ion is existing. One of our data that we are now continuing trial of carrier doping to this material. So this is the temperature dependence of the resistivity of copper 608 by partial substitution of Cl and bromine. So we clearly observed the metal insulator transition, and probably under high pressure it can be superconductor. I don't know. Next step is the coexistence of superconductivity and magnetism in trillium-based cluster superconductor. This has been by my doctor student Kase-kun and collaborating with Kadono-san. This is a trillium-6, rhodium-6, and SN18, and recently we succeed in instead of the rhodium to iridium, and we can get a new superconductor. And also we have a large single crystal of this material. One of the interesting points is that this is, for example, under zero field, it is a very beautiful resistivity here, drops to zero. However, under magnetic field, very, very small magnetic field, the entrant behavior is appear. So the superconductivity at zero field is just like this. However, under very, very small magnetic field, it can be reentrant behaviors appear. So the reentrant superconductivity was observed at low temperature, and this is a phase diagram. This is a superconducting boundary, and this is a magnetic boundary. So that we try to check the existence of magnetism. We try to get a Meissel measurement. This is one of the Meissel measurements that we clearly observe the so-called oscillating behavior, just suggesting that this has a, in some sense, magnetism is existing. This is a frequency dependence here, and TC, TM is around here. However, this magnetism is probably not a long-range order, but some short-range order, cluster size short-range order. This is a LF corrected asymmetry due to recover under strong magnetic field, but not so. Probably this biograph shows that spin dynamics existing. Detailed analysis is now in progress. So our conclusion is that Meissel measurement shows that development of a quasi static magnetic long-range order from the spontaneous oscillation signal in the Meissel spectrum under the external field. Magnetism persists even below TC. So the strongly suggesting coexistence of magnetism and superconductivity. Next, last topic is recently we get superconductivity in yttrium tin-3. We just believe this has been developed, discovered by Kawashima. We just briefly mentioned that Y2C system, yttrium tin-3 is AU kappa-3 type structure is here, and superconductivity is appears TC equals 7 Kelvin, and high temperature region shows a metallic behavior. Okay. So the superconducting parameters here, and TC over delta is 2 delta over KBTC is not is here, about 5. So the superconductivity in Y3 exists in strong coupling region. So we have a lot of new material, and another that now we are continuing a lot of new material. However, unfortunately, that TC is decreasing and almost zero. However, uptown is here. This is a minimum. So, so that in the near future, that we can get a drastic, dramatic higher TC. We can get it. I hope so. So in these situations that I'm all saying the night is the darkest just before dawn, so that in the near future that we can get a more higher TC, and Take material can be found in the future. I hope so. The sunlight will be coming. Thank you very much for your attention.